I am sitting inside what my husband likes to call the bug-free zone at the camper. So, like, if you take a look here, you can see a little bit. Like, it's really, really pretty. But I'm inside this little area that um, is covered so I don't get all but bit up. Um, Wondering if everyone can see me okay, because I don't see people joining. So if you join and you can see me and hear me okay, please let me know, because I'm out a little bit further from the camper and don't know how the Wi-Fi is working out here this morning. So, hi, here we are. Here we are in Morning Huddle. And topic for this morning is our distractions, what we do with our distractions. And so I'm going to tell a couple of stories around distractions and what we do with them, and how to find acceptance and adapt to our distractions. So a lot of times we can't just walk away from our distraction. Sometimes our distractions are absolutely our responsibilities. So if you're joining today live, and you're thinking about the things that distract you from doing the things that you need to do inside your business, are those distractions things that what are those distractions? I'd like to know. So, for example, a distraction that you can't there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you can't get rid of your kids. Like, you're responsible for them, right? So I'm responsible for my kids, so they're a distraction. The things that you're responsible for, you may still have a 9 to 5 job, right? So I'm building my business, but I'm responsible for this job still. I'm responsible for my kids. So what are the things that are a distraction that you absolutely don't really have control over? I mean, you have to do them. And I'd like you to just like list those things out. Say hi. Um, so those are not in the moment distractions. Those are distractions that you can schedule things around. Now, obviously you can't schedule your 3-year-old having a temper tantrum. And so that's the second thing that I want to talk about. So what are the in the moment distractions? Like my dog right now. Hi, Bunny. Say hi. Bunny's over there. Can you see her? Because she wants to be a part of, and she's not inside the fence. Uh-huh. So I may need to go out there and travel. We're going to travel. Um, and so let's go. You're going to travel with me. What are the distractions that happen in the moment? And how do you deal with the distractions that happen right in the moment? So, for example, your dog is barking and you're in the middle of a morning huddle. Do you stop everything and say, I have to go because my dog's barking? Or do you adapt? Do you say, well, I can walk out of the no bug zone and I can come over to my picnic table so my dog will stop barking? How do you handle those immediate situations that distract you from what you're doing? Do those distractions absolutely change everything that you're doing? Do they change your actions? Do they change your attitude? Sometimes distractions can be really frustrating. And those distractions that are really frustrating can do that. They can change your physical action, like what you're doing. They can change how you feel about it, right? What if you looked at those distractions as an opportunity for you to find a way to adapt, to look for options, and to look for acceptance? So let's take a look at some stories, because I like to tell stories. So the story that's popping into my head this morning, I did not plan the whole distraction of the dog. I swear. I know it feels like I did, but I didn't. But let's tell a story about getting distracted and how it affects your business. In my case, it's going to affect my senior leadership role, because at the time I was not in business. So I had this daily distraction for about 10 years. And this distraction was called my mother. Can anyone relate to that? Having a distraction called their mother? So in my situation, my mom lived with me, and my mom was really sick. She was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in her 40s, like a little bit before, probably about 42, and I'm 46. And she had multiple sclerosis that paralyzed her from the waist down. It was pretty severe. And so my mom lived with me for many years, and I was her primary caretaker. And I also had this really big girl job. And so randomly, my mom would fall. She would fall maybe once a week or so. She had like all the setups and things, but she was still a pistol. So she would try to do things, and she would end up falling. Sometimes I thought that she would try to fall on purpose, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So when my mom would fall, she had like one of those little like beeper things, and it would beep. It would beep the fire department, and it would beep me. And so once a week or so, I'd be in the middle of a presentation, or I'd be in the middle of coaching my talent. I'd be in the middle of who knows what, and I'd get a call saying, your mom fell. And that's a big distraction. I'd have to figure out what I was going to do. And I could freak out and say, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? My mom fell. Or I could say, okay, this is happening. My mom has fallen. What do I need to do to make sure that she's taken care of? And what do I need to do to make sure that what I have in front of me is taken care of? And I learned how to adapt, and I learned how to accept. I didn't do it right off the bat. It took some time. It took several times of a little bit of madness, a little bit of crazy acting, until I was able to figure out how to adapt and how to accept. And then eventually it became the norm. So these distractions that you're really responsible for, we can look at them as like really frustrating, right? Like, oh, I don't have time for this. You must do XYZ. Like, how many times do we say that to our kids? Ugh, I don't have time for this. Go find your own Cheerios. Or we can look at it as, okay, this is happening. How do we adapt? How do we accept? And how does it just be part of our norm? So I told you I was gonna tell you the reason why I thought sometimes my mom was trying to fall on purpose. And that's because, well, for all those years I was a single mom, and so whenever she fell, the firefighters or the EMTs would come over, and I would come home and check on her, and she was always really hopeful that the firefighters and the EMTs would be there, because she wanted to introduce them to her daughter. That's just how my mom, no filter. Speaking of no filters, I posted something on Instagram this morning that was about having no filters, and I'm starting to find that I'm becoming more and more like my mom, of like the no filter zone. So yeah, so there was a little bit of storytelling this morning, and thinking about your day and what happens as you go through your day and all the distractions that may come your way. Is it a distraction that you're responsible for, that you need to absolutely take care of? Or is it a distraction that you can take a look at and find some acceptance, find some, how do you adapt, and work through that through the day. So that's all, guys. It is not a lot of call to action, which is, not like me. I like to get you guys moving in action, building your businesses, doing all the sales and marketing and lead gen and all those things so you can make those 100K months, right? But that's where I was sitting this morning, and that's what you guys got. So thanks so much for joining. If you are watching via replay, please hit hashtag replay. If you have some similar stories that you want to share about the distractions that you've had to walk through, and how you've done it, both gracefully and non-gracefully, go ahead and share. And thanks so much for joining live this morning, and everyone have a blessed day. Bye.